Hey. Sorry to barge in on you like this. It's just that the door was open and you did know I was coming, so I figured I'd just walk in. I didn't startle you, did I? Oh, okay, awesome. Good. Here. Do you want to eat in the kitchen or here on the couch? Yeah, that's what I thought. Couch it is. Always the best, honestly. I don't know why, but when we were kids, adults were always making such a big deal about food staying in the kitchen and eating at the table. Honestly. I guess when I was little, though, it would probably make a little bit more sense since, butterfingers and stuff. But now that I got to all this adulting stuff, it really doesn't seem like that big of a deal. I guess that's just kind of how things go, huh? I mean, really. Eating on the couch is pretty fun no matter how old you are. At least the way I see it, anyway. Hang on. I'll go get us some, paper plates and stuff. I don't really want to do dishes today. Okay, yeah, I know that it's your house. I mean, technically. So it would be your dishes, but I always feel bad leaving a big mess here. And I also happen to know that if I did leave dishes here, they would just sit in the sink until I come back. Oh, come on. You know it's true. Okay. It's not that big of a deal. I do it too, so it's valid. Still. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab all of that stuff. Our lovely high-class plastic cutlery for our little couch picnic, and then I'll be back, so just sit tight, okay? Alright, here we are. I got you a drink too, and one for myself, as always. Listen, what are friends for if not to drink all your soda, right? And for the record, I brought the food, so you owe me anyway. And I just want to make sure that I'm giving you the full best friend experience, so I can't leave you hanging. So I guess maybe I could take one for the road, just to even things out and make sure you don't feel like you're being neglected. Well, I could also just force you to spend time with me. I know. We could stay here all night, and I could eat all of your junk food and make a mess in your place. Oh, and I also barged in without being invited. That's half of the things that I need to do, at least. And only in a couple hours. I'm kind of a pro at this, aren't I? Actually, speaking of friends, there's something that I kind of wanted to ask you. And it's kind of weird, and I know that I kind of just got here, and there's probably things that you want to tell me, and it's gonna be, kind of weird and out there, so you're welcome to stop me, but, well, this thing has kind of been nagging in the back of my mind all day, and I don't want to accidentally mess up the vibes, or anything like that. At least not on my end of things, so I figured I would just go ahead and throw this out there, and you don't necessarily have to respond, okay? So if this is super awful, just say nope, next, and we'll never talk about it again. Okay, sorry. I guess that probably wasn't the best intro in the world. There's no need to panic or freak out or anything. This isn't really that big of a deal or anything. I'm not mad at you or anything like that. Sorry, I guess I probably should have led with that, knowing you. But you're totally fine, alright? I'm not upset, and you're doing great, and all that stuff. But, well, I just don't want you to worry, okay? And I want you to always be able to feel comfortable with me. 'Cause, honestly, I feel super comfortable whenever I'm with you. But, anyway, before I ramble my head off about all that, basically, what happened is, well, you know how my family has that really big party for my parents' anniversary? Yep, that's the one. The one I complain about, all year. I mean, there's some good things about it. I guess it gives me good gossip to bring back to you, since, that's another good part about friends, is complaining about people that only one of us knows. That's pretty much the best part of it, anyway. Or, well, kind of the only good part. But that doesn't matter. Basically, my sister, the older one who's really annoying and got engaged earlier this year? Yeah, that's the one. Oh, well, she's gonna be bringing her fiancé, and it's gonna be all about them and how awesome they are and how amazing their love is, blah, blah, blah. And, well, you know how my family can be about my dating life in the past, or lack thereof is more accurate, I guess. And, well, it's just gonna be so awkward to have to sit there and be like, no, I don't have time for dating, so I'm too busy playing video games and running around, especially when her fiancé is just sitting right there being all Mr. Perfect. So, well, I was thinking. Well, I kind of had a silly idea. You know all those stupid little rom-com movies that I kind of force you to watch? Yeah, see? I know that making you watch those would be good for something. Now you know what I'm talking about. Well, you know how in the movies, two people that are just friends will kind of join up so that they can get out of, like, an awkward family Christmas or whatever, and they can kind of pretend they have a date? Well, I was thinking that maybe we could do something like that. Not that it has to be, like, totally out of a rom-com. I mean, obviously, since we're just best friends, and we're not gonna fall in love for real at the end, obviously. But, well, I figured that maybe it would be a good option. You know, 'cause you already know all of the family, so you wouldn't, like, accidentally step in something really questionable. And I think that you'd be pretty fun, you know, to make awkward eye contact with across the table. You know, like when my mom says something totally crazy, and then we can talk about it for weeks afterwards. I mean, honestly, like I said, the only reason that I can even stand this event at all is because I think it's so funny when I get to bring back all the crazy stuff that my family does, and I can just tell it to you, and, well, then we just sit here for hours and laugh at them. And I know you enjoy it too. But, well, I was thinking that if you got to actually come, then you could see all of the crazy firsthand. So, honestly, it's mostly just an opportunity to get more of the gossip. That's what it is for me. Anyway. Well, I would also get out of all those awkward conversations with my family about my sister's perfect fiancé and all of that, but, well, we could definitely talk about this for weeks afterwards. There's always good content with my family. And with 2 eyes, we could see twice the amount of crazy, so, well, I guess I just figured I'd throw out the idea. But I know that we're just friends, and I understand that I still am benefiting just a little bit more from this, obviously, since you'd have to get all dressed up and I'd have to drag you all the way down there and stuff. But, well, I figured I just kind of wanted to check in, since you know me, once an idea gets in my head, it doesn't really leave till I do something about it. But if you think it's a bad one, or just awkward at all, since, well, obviously it would be, since you would be pretending to date me and all. Which, obviously, that wouldn't be so awful in real life, right? I mean, you're my best friend and all, but I don't see you in that way, obviously, because that would be weird and totally not relevant. So, yeah. I guess that's it. But I think we could pretend, you know, just for one night, to get more drama. And that's what I was going to tell you. Sorry that it was kind of all over the place and, like, really discombobulated. My brain is kind of going 90 miles an hour right now. But I'm glad that I said that out loud now, just to get it off my chest. You don't have to answer now, or at all, really, if you're not interested. You can just be like, hey, listen, that was really weird, and I don't want to think about it anymore, and then it never happened. So, yeah. But in case you don't totally hate the idea, what do you think? I mean, I don't want to pressure you into doing something. It was just kind of like this crazy scheme that I had, and, well, you know how I am with ideas and stuff. So I figured I'd just go ahead and let you know before I, like, totally accidentally announced it in a, like, even more weird way. Well, I know that the way I'm talking right now probably isn't the best way to ease you into all this, but, well, you know me. We're chill. So, I guess it's the best I could do. So, what do you think? Do you want to pretend to be my date? Just to, chip off my parents, obviously. And be rude to my sister, who, totally deserves it, and not in the real, haha, we're fake dating, but actually we like each other way, 'cause probably that would be totally not accurate. But, regardless, it's still gonna be a kind of awkward dinner. And I'll still bring you back drama, regardless of whether or not you want to come. But there's my offer. So, you don't have to say anything, since I know it's kind of awkward. But that's it. I've said my piece. What's that? Oh, you do think that it would be a good idea? For the little date? I mean, obviously not an actual date, but, the fake one. But you really want to? Awesome. No, I think it would be a good idea too. Honestly, we're gonna have so much fun. It's always so boring. And now I won't even have to sneak my phone under the table so I can text you, since you'll be right there. That's the most exciting part. Okay. Awesome. Now I'm actually kind of looking forward to this whole thing for the first time. That's one thing that I never thought was gonna happen. I wonder if this is why everyone else likes it so much. Maybe I should take a page out of their book. Anyway, I'll go ahead and stop talking so we can actually enjoy all this food I got and stuff. But I am really happy, for the record. Thank you. I really appreciate the help.